So Terence "Bud" Crawford just vacated his title at 154, so I feel like the real ones know, the real boxing fans know, he's probably going to retire after this Canelo Alvarez fight. He's going to grab his cash, win, lose, or draw, ride off into the sunset and call it a career, because why would he vacate if he planned to defend it after the Canelo Alvarez fight, unless he intends to stay at 168 after potentially beating Canelo and defend his titles at 168. If he wants to do that, maybe that's why he vacated. But realistically, I feel like he's been telling a lot of people that this is going to be his last fight, and that if he weren't to get the Canelo fight, then he wouldn't have ultimately fought again. And that's interesting to hear from Terence "Bud" Crawford, because we know how competitive he is, but I also understand he's accomplished everything there is to accomplish in the sport of boxing, at least within his weight class, getting all the stoppages. His stoppage streak, his KO streak at 147 was something that I really appreciated, because in a time where the welterweight division was so hot, he was able to knock down every person that they put in front of him, literally, and stop them and make them quit. You know, Terence Crawford is a bad man right now, especially, you know, going up in weight. He's going to be more motivated than ever to fight at 168. Everybody has things to say about Terence Crawford, like, oh, he's not going to be as fast at 168 because of how he looked against Madrimov. I feel like Madrimov's style caused Terence Crawford to look slower in that fight. I don't know if it was necessarily the fact that Terence Crawford was at 154 and moving up, because I feel like it's hard for him to make 147. Terence Crawford has already said it's hard for him to make 47. So for all the people saying that he looked slower at 54, the reason he looked slower was the opponent, not the weight. So I feel like that isn't really in play, at least in my opinion. That's not what I saw. I just saw Madrimov's style cause Crawford to think a little bit more, and then as a result he looked slower in there, but he wasn't actually slow. It was just, especially in the beginning of the fight, where I think Terence Crawford, he got a tougher fight than he had anticipated, in my opinion, against Madrimov. So you saw him darting in, and every time he darted in, Madrimov had a hook for him. He'd have a right hand for him. He'd have shots ready for Terence Crawford as soon as Terence Crawford would commit and get in the pocket for even a little bit of a moment with Madrimov. And then obviously we saw Madrimov get dismantled by Ortiz. You could argue that Ortiz did a better job than Crawford, or maybe we just had such high expectations for Crawford, and not a lot of us were expecting to see much from Madrimov when he fought Crawford. But great fight, close fight. It was very entertaining. I thought that Madrimov, you know, it could have gone either way, but Terence Crawford probably pulled it out. I haven't rewatched that fight. I don't really rewatch fights, to be honest. It's in the moment, because I feel like it takes a lot for me personally, and maybe I'm a casual for this, but it takes a lot for me to rewatch a fight, honestly. You know, there's so many other things going on, especially with what I do. I feel like there's so many other topics to talk about. I don't really get to rewatch fights as much. There are very few fights that I rewatch. So, you know, just going back to Terence Crawford, I feel like him and Canelo Alvarez is going to be an exciting fight. I feel like it's a great opportunity for an event in the sport of boxing. I'm not going to say it's going to be an all-out war, because there's a good chance it won't be. You know, I don't expect Terence Crawford to go in there and exchange with Canelo Alvarez, because honestly that wouldn't be a smart game plan. Maybe it would be exciting for the fans, but I think Terence Crawford's he's too intelligent to do something like that. And even though it would feed into the fans, it would get the fans hyped and everything, I feel like he's going to try to win the fight by any means necessary, even if that means being very fast with his feet, you know, getting his combinations off and not getting backed into a corner. Terence Crawford has to be smart. He can't, you know, allow Canelo to corner him and cut the ring off, because Canelo's pretty good at cutting the ring off. But when you have a guy as fast as Terence Crawford, who, you know, Canelo hasn't faced a guy as fast as Bud, at least honestly since Floyd. So to go against Terence Crawford, I feel like it's going to be a difficult matchup for Canelo as well. It's not an easy fight for him, but this is the reason why we want to see it. It's like a science experiment. We want to see Terence Crawford, a natural 147 or 54 pounder, go up multiple weight classes to fight a guy like Canelo. Yeah, the weight is in play, but also a lot of us believe that Terence Crawford has the skill to make up for that weight, and he has the speed to also make up for it. So we're all intrigued to see what Terence Crawford's able to do. I think that he has a good chance of beating Terence Crawford, honestly, because of the speed, the endurance, and honestly the intelligence as well. So we'll see what happens. Canelo versus Crawford. Still favor Canelo a little bit just because of the weight, but I really do think it's a pretty close fight. But let me know down below what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next Nabs Boxing video. Peace.